Welcome back to Fireside Giants. My name is Alex, my co-host Anthony Rivardo. Today we got special guest Matt Genatino on the line, offensive specialist for the line and in the trenches. Really excited to have Matt on today to break down this offensive line group that's been performing way better as of late the last 3 games, protecting Daniel Jones, giving him a clean pocket to throw through. We've spoken about Daniel Jones and how well he's looked, especially behind the clean pocket. He's one of the best in terms of passer rating. When the pocket is clean, he has space to move around and time to throw the ball. And it's been really exciting to see this team develop. But Matt, how are you doing? And are you excited to get into this latest film?
I'm doing great, guys. And now that the Giants are on this little bit of a win streak here, it's really exciting. The whole team, is playing really well, and especially the offensive line is a big part of that as well. And their success, and I think that it will be in the next stretch of 4 games they have coming up. Some tough opponents, but listen, I think the playoff push, believe it or not, is here, and I think it's going to depend on this offensive line.
Absolutely. And Anthony, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. I just ate like 8 pounds of Chinese food. I haven't had Chinese food in a very long time, so I'm very happy and excited to talk about the offensive line.
I thought that was going somewhere with Chinese food.
Yeah, I did too. Look, Anthony takes a break during this segment. We'll know why.
We'll know where he went. It's either meatballs or Chinese food for Anthony. You never know which one's going to hit him first. Regardless, my friends, we're here to talk about the offensive line, and we're going to cut right into it. All right, so today we got the first play from this offensive line grouping for the Giants against Cincinnati. All of the film for today will be in Week 12 from Cincinnati. In the win, 19-17, if you don't remember the score. But this is a really great game. And I put all the film in slow motion so we can really break it down and see what happened in each point. And I really want to focus on Andrew Thomas for the first couple of plays. You'll see a lot of Nick Gates later on and some really, really nice hits that he had on guys that weren't looking. Really, really nice plays from him. But Andrew Thomas, Matt, is where I want us to focus on the first couple of plays because I spotted him out and his technique and what he did and what he's been doing differently. And I want you to kind of break down what he's been doing to improve and what you've noticed kind of from him the past couple of weeks.
Sure. Absolutely. I think, just a quick preface with Andrew Thomas. I talked about it a little bit before. I mentioned Eric Flowers and his transition to the NFL. And again, I'm not comparing Eric Flowers to Andrew Thomas, but if you guys remember, the plan was not for Eric Flowers to be the left tackle. It was him to be the right tackle. Will Beatty was there at the time. He had tore his pec in the offseason, and that kind of rushed the development of Andrew Thomas. To throw a tackle in at left tackle right away from college, it is a tough transition. So listen, at the same time, that was a big transition for Andrew. And don't forget, this is still a new offense for everybody. It always, I feel like, is a conversation when they talk about the new offense has to take a few weeks to gel and get right together. So I think it was all part of that process. I think sometimes we forget Andrew Thomas is still a rookie, albeit the 4th pick in the draft, still a rookie. So everything is kind of, coming together nicely. And I think that's what you're seeing as a whole.
Absolutely. Now we'll dive right into this first one. And you can see Andrew Thomas, he does a good job just punching this guy away.
Yeah, I think here, guys, it's just patience, right? When you look at his punch, that was a big thing coming out. He waits for the rusher to flash his hands, and then he just kind of puts his hands there. Good position. He doesn't turn too early. He does a really nice job of being in the right position at the right time. Again, stays square to the line of scrimmage here, like you could see. And he's playing the rusher perfectly. I think it's a great job all around by the offensive line. And I think it's just a really good job. One thing I want, if you can go back real quick, Alex, let's look at Cam Fleming here. So he kind of quick sets Sam Hubbard here, the second-year player out of Ohio State. And you see he kind of leans over. He's kind of leaning a little bit. That's what Eric Flowers' problem was, and that's what made Eric Flowers so terrible at tackle. And I think that's where Cam Fleming struggles a bit. You see here he kind of gets his head over his toes. Look at his base here. He's on one foot, right? That's not really conducive, and he's leaning. So that's, I think, a big problem. That's not really a win for Cam Fleming. That's kind of an issue, and I think we're going to see that more and more. But luckily for the Giants, Matt Parrott is back this week, the outstanding rookie from UConn. So hopefully he could get more playing time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if you look at Andrew Thomas compared to Cam Fleming right now, you can see, look at the back angles and what they should and shouldn't look like. Thomas is doing a really good job, squaring his base, and you can see on the other side, Cam Fleming is completely leaning over with his head over his toes, like you mentioned. So you can kind of see the yin yang of this offensive line at left and right tackle. Cam Fleming was actually a problem this past week. He had 3 penalties. He ruined some drives there. Like you mentioned, Matt Parrott coming back this week is going to be huge. I don't expect Fleming to get many reps with Parrott coming back from the COVID reserve list.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Okay. So on to the next one. And I liked how Andrew Thomas, something I noticed, was that he handled bull rushes pretty well. So here he gets beat a little bit at the end, but the ball's already out, so it's not that big of a deal. But the one thing you'll see throughout this film session is that he has been punching that inside shoulder so much, and it's been working really well for him.
Yes. And what he does here is he gets that left hand on the inside of the rusher, and he kind of, call hay bale lifts it. So he kind of lifts up underneath the chest plate. You'll see it right here. He resets his left hand. Okay. He resyncs his base. Okay. And he gets low and he sits down on it. Right. And he's in good position. Yes, he's a little bit over himself. It's a good job by the defender, kind of using that leverage on the bull rush to then pull forward. That's a really good rush, but that's a really good job by Andrew Thomas of sinking that base, flopping backwards, and resetting his leverage. Okay, that's a really nice job by him here. Again, attacking that inside shoulder because he fakes the inside move, reset, drop the hips, and he's in perfect position. Really nice job.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did a great job anchoring there, but I also noticed a really good pass set by Shane Lemieux. I know that's your boy, Matt. Shane Lemieux did an excellent job here.
Yep. And one thing I want to point out is, and I've brought this up time and time again, I talk about the guards setting to the full man. So we talk about, the shades of the defenders, and when a guy sets to the full man, he fully covers up that guy's body. He doesn't set to the half man, just like some defenders look to do. So here he covers up the whole man. He slides over nicely, and he's in perfect position to take away the rush.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you mentioned, Anthony, Lemieux, you'll see throughout this tape also, there's only one play that I noticed that he didn't look very good on, but Nick Gates cleans it up really well, and that's kind of his job at center right now. He's just cleaning up. He's helping. He's trying to see who needs help, and then he just, is going back and forth. He's keeping his eyes moving at all times. But Lemieux has looked phenomenal. PFF grades him very poorly, but I've watched all of the film today, and I did not notice him get beat exponentially much at all, which is very odd to me.
And that's, again, why we talk about the PFF grades being horseshit, to be honest. They're not good. And I think it's just a huge problem when people look into that a little too much, because every time I watch Shane Lemieux, yes, I'm biased because I'm a huge fan, but I don't really see a lot of negatives in his game. I see a good attitude with him. So he's played well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are some grades for PFF that are good, but this one specifically – the statistics that you really can't get wrong, they do well in gathering those and really putting them in a good layout. But with this kind of stuff, it doesn't seem like they are noticing, what we're seeing in the film room. And you're going to see it throughout this. We'll just keep an eye on Shane Lemieux, and we'll keep breaking them down for you.
Yep.
So inside punch again by Andrew Thomas.
Yep. And the first thing I look here is how are they communicating on the line here? This is double A gap pressure. So this is basically what they call maybe like a double barrel, double A gap in the nickel here. So it's really it's 6 for 6. Wayne Gallman is in to protect with this on the defense. So Nick Gates is responsible for Akeem Davis Gaither, number 59, if he was to come here, but he does not. He does a nice job of helping out Shane Lemieux. That's just the way the protection is going. Nice job by Wayne Gallman. We talk a lot about Saquon, with his pass protection being an issue. Wayne Gallman's a pretty damn good pass protector. So that's a nice job by him. That's really the biggest threat right there is that blitzing linebacker in the A-gap. So he does enough. I see there he's kind of crossing over. He's kind of last second kind of turning. But he does a nice job. I mean, he's also on a defensive tackle there. I think it's Mike Daniels, who's had some success in this league. He did a nice job picking that up, and they kind of run a little bit of a twist here on Zeitler and Gallman. They do a nice job. But again, back to, Andrew Thomas, he does a nice job getting that outside shoulder of the defender, and that's a really clean pocket for a quick strike. I believe Evan Ingram that was.
I was going to say, really nice pocket for Daniel Jones. And you'll see that throughout this game. He is basically just chilling back there, waiting to throw strikes.
One thing I think that I want to point out, too, again, with Wayne Gallman, if you just back that up a little bit, Alex, what he does, he recognizes the stunt, and he actually pushes the stunt man, okay, into the penetrator. So you see he pushes him.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Right? He creates a collision, so the stunt is a lot harder for those two defenders to actually create their stunt. It's a really nice job. That's offensive line 101 when you're talking about stunts.
That's high level.
That's a very nice job by Wayne Gallman disrupting the stunt there.
Yeah, and that's something we didn't see with Saquon, by the way. He didn't lack that. He lacked the awareness to know like what they were trying to do, and Gallman's been phenomenal. I think, like you mentioned, he's been a huge reason that this pocket has been so clean for Daniel Jones. The way he's been picking up blitzes and the chemistry and the cohesiveness and communication, he's fit like gel right into this line. And it's been really fun to watch him play. Aside from running the football, these blocks are a big part in opening up these gaps and keeping the pocket clean for Daniel Jones.
Yep, absolutely. Nice job by Andrew Thomas continuing his feet too there. That's a big point where guys will stop their feet and it'll give the guy the edge. But nice job continuing the feet. Great throw and catch. It's a great play for the Giants. Finally putting him out wide too. Finally, which is great.
So, little combo on the right side.
Sounds like you got a little ambulance going by.
I think I do. I don't know. This is not great.
It's me. It's me. Believe me, I live in New York City. It's probably the Cincinnati Bengals needed desperate help. So looking at Andrew Thomas here, he gets the chop. He gets chopped pretty. This is a rep that it looks like a hold, honestly.
Yeah, that didn't look like a good rep to me, man.
Wasn't a good rep.
Like Matt mentioned, he's very hunched over. His head is way over his toes. This
exactly.
Is not
Look at Cam Fleming compared.
Fleming did a good job on this rep. That's what I was watching before you pointed out Andrew Thomas. But yeah, this wasn't a good rep. I'll let Matt break it down more efficiently though.
Yeah, again, it's just really his hands here that become the problem. So if you just back it up a little bit, Alex, right? His hands are in good position, but his punch is really too much inside, okay, where his outside hand really needs to be more on the shoulder there, and he just gets caught leaning. He does a two-hand punch right in the chest plate. At youth level, high school, maybe some college, they teach a two-hand punch right in the middle of the chest. That, and a lot of people who may not be familiar with traditional offensive line play, they may realize, okay, that's a good job. He's supposed to punch right in the middle. He's not. His outside hand, which is his left hand, should be on basically the outside armpit of the defender, and his inside hand should be in the middle chest plate there. At that point, he just two-hand punches, kind of whiffs on him. He's leaning, and he gets too over-aggressive, which leads to him leaning. And then, again, it's a whole nice rip move. This Bengals defensive line is definitely it's not, they're not world beaters, but they're pretty good too, to be honest. I would say they're a pretty underrated group up front.
Yeah, I would agree. And look at Shane Lemieux again.
Yeah, another great rep by Shane Lemieux. I noticed that.
Yeah,
yep. Absolutely.
His interior defender, he just hold his ground.
He just see how he re-sinks himself there. He resets his hands on the bull rush.
His feet are great.
Right, they're fantastic. Keeps a nice wide base, right, and he kind of flops backwards. He doesn't sit. If he sits, right, then he would be basically in a too poor of a position there. If he was to sit down, he'd be too underneath himself. At that point, if you see he has that positive arc in his back where he's headed upwards, right, that nice angle within his ankles, the bend, right, that's one thing. If you watch Joe Thomas when he's against, bull rushes off the edge, Joe Thomas talks about keeping his ankles at 90 degrees, using that power down to up. Right, so that's what Shane Lemieux is doing, re-anchoring himself here. Really nice job.
Absolutely, and honestly, he's up against a bigger guy, and he's doing a really, really nice job of completely stonewalling him.
I believe that's Geno Atkins.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the best interior defenders in the game. So, doing that against a guy of that quality is impressive. I think, the way his feet are moving here, and like you mentioned, the bend, it's really impressive from a rookie, and this is a good sign for the Giants, especially for their cap space.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll also throw out that Pro Football Focus. I checked the stats since we do have the premium. He did not allow a pressure this week, Shane Lemieux, but they still gave him a 31.0 pass blocking grade, although that was the highest he's had this season. that's still pretty low. So I'm going to continue to keep an eye on Shane Lemieux and see if I could see where this grading came from. But 0 pressures, 0 hurries, 0 hits, 0 sacks. They really didn't charge him with anything negative in the statistics. So I'm curious to see any sort of reasoning behind the low grading.
Yep. Yeah. And guys, this is a perfect rep by Andrew Thomas. I put a video out on my Twitter. I was training an offensive lineman, and we were going over the bull rush technique about how to stop a bull rush. And you see Andrew Thomas, he fights the pressure. He waits to the last second to flop back again. He doesn't sit. He flops, and he feels the pressure, and he uses that pressure in his favor. So he waits here. The edge rusher kind of bull rushes him. It's a stalemate. Now he bull rushes him with the long arm, and you see him flop there, right? He waits for the pressure, jump. And then boom, flop, right? A lot of guys will say, who don't know how to play offensive line, well, why are you hopping backwards? It's not a hop. It's a flop. And again, he resinks that anchor. He gets that ankle bend, and he pushes up back into the defender and resets his hands. That's a great job. Textbook by Andrew Thomas. Again, people will say, why are you leaving your feet? He's just re-anchoring himself. That's a perfect rep, exactly how it's taught. Nice job by Andrew Thomas.
See, that's what I was curious about, because I'm not an offensive line coach. You are, so that was the question that I was going to ask, because I have tried to research this in the past and learn more about the technique of offensive linemen, and I've seen some people say more of what you're saying, but I've seen other people say you should never have both of your feet off of the ground. And so, I'm glad that you clarified the flop technique and why that was actually a job well done by Andrew Thomas, where some people I think might look at that and see both of his feet off the ground and try and, give him a negative grade, so to speak, like PFF maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I got crucified on Twitter for this. So just to basically explain it, that's really what it is. He's definitely leaving his feet, if you will. But again, he's waiting for that moment where he can't take the pressure anymore from the defender. He's waiting. He's actually pushing forward, using that pressure until he can't anymore. So he resets by flopping, right? It's not sitting. He's flopping. So that's a textbook, like I said, great job by Andrew Thomas. And again, for a rookie to do that, that's just a great job.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I will say this, I think that they probably say don't do this if you're not an athletic tackle or offensive lineman, but Andrew Thomas is incredibly athletic. So having the ability to re-anchor and flop like this and stand his ground and actually stay balanced is really impressive. I don't think there's a lot of guys that can do it that effectively, specifically in this rep. But this is, like you mentioned, textbook. And I think he has that athleticism. He's super young too, so he's got the knees for it.
Right, and look at this protection. I mean, Daniel Jones has a beautiful pocket once again.
Beautiful, just green.
He's standing in there confidently, and he could finally make a nice throw.
All he sees is blue jerseys in front of him, which is pretty impressive. Like, they pretty much have all of these guys covered. If Daniel Jones looks any direction, just blue, a sea of blue, which is all you want to see.
And again, guys, it goes back to even look at Zeitler. I mean, we talked about at the trade deadline the potential of moving him, and this is exactly why you do not move him. It just keeps the solid core around Daniel Jones and, a good leader in that offensive line room.
100%. And this is actually one that I noticed before. This is, I think, Nick Gates' worst rep of the game.
Yes.
Because he's supposed to help on that left side, and he completely disregards it and just kind of stands there on the right.
Sure. And again, I think that may also be his era in terms of calling out the protection, right? So I understand he has to look for that, again, Akeem Davis-Gaither, the rookie at Appalachian State, he's responsible. If he comes, he does not. So really, he has to kind of slide that over, and he should take the blitzing linebacker to the left there, and then Dion Lewis should almost take Von Bell, number 24, who's coming off the edge. So
that's exactly what I saw too.
Right. If that was slid over, that would have been a better job. But again, that could be on Nick Gates. Again, I don't know. Maybe it's just a nice blitz by Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator of the Bengals. But again, like I said, it could be a good design based off of what the Giants' protection scheme is. But if that doesn't, if he doesn't come, they do have to bump that over, and he does not. He sees that guy, goes away. If he turns quickly, then maybe Dion Lewis realizes, okay, Gates has him. Let me check for something else.
Right, because the one thing that gave away that I think Gates messed up on this is because Kevin Zeitler literally pushes him at the end of this play. Look at him. He's like, "Get the hell over there. What are you doing?" And Nick Gates is like, "Oh shoot."
Right.
They're already at him.
And look, I mean, even if you go back, Cam Fleming almost doesn't know who to block at this point, and it really screws up that whole right side of the line, right? Because Cam Fleming goes, okay, I have the edge rusher. No, he drops back into coverage. He does a nice job looking for work, but again, I think that's also why that right side of the line was kind of in an inopportune situation for themselves, in a bad position.
Right. I think there was a hold on this play too.
Was it on Zeitler, possibly? Because he was trying to make up for the recovery there.
That's definitely possible.
Yeah, because once he sees that Gates doesn't pick up the block, he tries to
help out Dion.
Tries to get this guy. If you see this right here,
yeah, he's looking right at it.
It could have been Lewis. It could have been Zeitler.
Actually, it could be right there.
Yeah,
it's right there. I think on Fleming. If you look at Sam.
Oh yeah, he's looking at. Yeah, he has his hand up in the air.
Huh.
But again,
this was just a messy rep, a messy play for this offensive line. This was a
bad
mess.
rep. But if you see,
the thing is, DJ turns it.
Actually, Alex, if you back this up a little bit again, if you look at how this is set up, if this was blocked properly, you have, I believe, is Slayton in the slot here, one-on-one with Akeem Davis-Gaither, I believe. If you run it a little bit forward, if this was picked up, look at Slayton on the crosser here.
Oh, yeah. He just didn't have the
time. It's okay. It's okay. Bad rep. Again, could be Nick Gates' miscommunication. It could be a bunch of things. It could just, again, be a really nice design by the Bengals defensive coordinator.
Yep. 100%. All right. This is just a nice little run by Gallman. Had a couple of these. He rarely misses holes when they open up, and he always falls forward. This guy has really impressed me this year.
You know what's funny is he has his strengths are Saquon Barkley's weaknesses, right? Like his vision is phenomenal, and that's the thing that Barkley needs to work on. His pass protection is really good, and that's Barkley's weakness, arguably his biggest, that and his vision. So it's kind of funny. If you were to combine Wayne Gallman and Saquon Barkley, you'd probably have the greatest running back of all time if you could just combine their talents into one human being.
I wish it was like that. I love this combo block, though, at the second level by Levine and Andrew Thomas. They completely take those two guys out, and Hernandez did a great job at the line of scrimmage, too.
Yep. And, guys, this is, I think, what we talked about a couple of times. This is the duo play, creating as many double teams as possible. You see Alabama do this all the time, and this is something that's very kind of popular. It's kind of carried over into the NFL now, and the Giants run it a lot. It's their favorite run play. So you see them really do a nice job on the double teams. And actually, Dave DeGuglielmo talked about this when he came in. One thing he really wanted to improve with the Giants was their double teams. And I don't know if this is, his work throughout the week, even though it was 1 week, but it's possible. And they do a really nice job here. Nice job by Toilolo and Thomas there, just really washing that down. And look at Thomas still on his block here. I mean, that's really fantastic. Good job by Evan Ingram getting his nose dirty here, continuing to be on his block. And even Sterling Shepard to close off the backside. Really nice job. I mean, this is a great cutback by the Giants. And even a nice job by Will Hernandez, who I don't give much praise to, but really good job.
Absolutely. And this is a nice little hit I wanted to throw in just for Nick Gates' sake.
Sure.
He gets a nice lick on number 70 on the left side. I love how he always has his head up. He's like, oh, this is a good one. Bam.
And that's how you play offensive line, right? Especially the center on a four-man rush. And then he gets back in to help Shane Lemieux. So he goes to Shane Lemieux's side originally, back to Zeitler's side, and then back again. So he goes, checks to his left, helps him out, solidifies it for Thomas. He sees the penetration. And, I mean, that's a nice decleat job right there. You live for that as an offensive lineman. And, again, goes back to help Shane Lemieux. So really nice job.
Oh, yeah. I posted this today, and he gave me a little like on Twitter, so I think he appreciated this play specifically.
Cool. Yeah, and this blocking setup, what could have been a huge play for the Giants, because this is a play where Daniel Jones bombs the ball. This ball traveled nearly 60 yards through the air, went just off of Darius Slayton's fingertips. Could have been, maybe the best throw of Daniel Jones' career had he completed it. But the pocket was excellent there. And what I also noticed is that Jones was able to sense the pass rush coming from the blind side, right? Andrew Thomas. This was something with Nate Solder that we talked a lot about, how he would his blocking technique was different, right? Coming from New England over to the Giants, the scheme was different in the way that he would allow the edge rushers to go. But Andrew Thomas does a good job of letting the edge rusher go by and then pushing him away from the pocket, which is something that Nate Solder just didn't do. Because of the dropbacks, and that was the problem. So that's where you see schematic improvement with Andrew Thomas and how he's fitting the scheme much better than Nate Solder ever did.
Yeah, guys, and a little tidbit here. I mean, just look at the left side, our right side when we're looking at the screen here. Look at how they're already out of their stance, right? And they're ready to protect. If you look at Kevin Zeitler and Cam Fleming isn't even out of his stance yet. Kevin Zeitler isn't even out of his stance yet. So that's interesting to me. And again, that could be a reason why, Cam Fleming gets beat on the edge quite a bit. I think he's a little too slow out of his stance.
He's also super low.
Very low. This could be play action. So let's watch this real quick.
I think it is with the jet sweep in motion.
Yeah, it's just a little CJ board.
Oh yeah.
Just right in the middle. Bam.
Yep. Look at Danny going through his progressions. Love to see it.
Exactly.
And this is actually a terrible rep by Cam Fleming. I mean, just look at him. His shoulders are completely turned here. I'm shocked he didn't get ran over here, because again, he's back on his heels here. And then look at how he kind of crosses over. He's just high. He's just very high on this, and it's just interesting. I'm shocked he didn't lose that rep even worse. So that's something where he needs to resync his hands here. And you see Thomas. Look at the pad level difference between Thomas and Fleming.
Yeah, look at Andrew Thomas anchoring there. That is an excellent job.
Big difference.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. And man, we can't get Matt Parrott fast enough back into this lineup.
Well, hopefully they actually start him. I mean,
they should. I mean,
you guys know I've been the big Matt Parrott guy since before he was even on the Giants. I've been in love with Matt Parrott since the draft process. I absolutely love that guy. I think that we've seen enough. I said I wanted to see him wait before the season started. I wanted to wait before we see him because I wanted to make sure that he was fully ready. But he's already proven that he is ready to play in this league. So they got to get him out there once he's back from the COVID list.
And props to Jason Garrett, guys. I mean, if you talk, one of the biggest criticisms within the first few weeks with Jason Garrett was his lack of using the pre-snap motion. And the pre-snap motion actually creates that play 100% there, vacates the middle with the linebacker. They go with the motion and Shepard, and it leaves the middle of the field wide open for CJ Board.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy you mentioned that because that was something, again, in the offseason that Alex and I talked about extensively on the Fireside Giants podcast, where I would bang the table for pre-snap motion, how badly I wanted to see it utilized more often by the Giants. And when it wasn't earlier in the season, I was confused because when I went back and looked at the film of the Dallas Cowboys, when Jason Garrett was calling plays and even when he wasn't, there was a lot of pre-snap motion, a lot of pulling guards. So I was really surprised when that wasn't utilized early on this season, but he has really changed the offensive scheme in recent weeks, and it has been, a lot better for Daniel Jones. We've seen him really start to thrive in recent weeks.
Yep. And on this play right here, I wanted to show this because the offensive line opens up a massive hole for Wayne Gallman. And like I mentioned before, he very often misses these, and he completely misses this.
Yep, and this is just a trap on the end.
I love the Lemieux trap. It's my favorite play.
Nice job by Lemieux. Nice job. Nice job by the fullback here, Eli Penny. Again,
nice block.
Zeitler just misses really his positioning here and just kind of falls over himself. He was in the right position, at this point on the double team with Fleming. Fleming stays on it as long as he could. A nice job by Fleming, actually, but I believe that Zeitler just gets tripped up. If he doesn't, we see the hole right there. That's a really nice job by Penny, and it was actually a nice job by Fleming, to be honest, too. Again, really, you can't say enough about Shane Lemieux. Gets down the line beautifully, plays the inside shoulder, strikes, and then, continues to fight there. But that play is designed right there up the gut. Unfortunately, Fleming, he does, lose the sustainable part of his block, and that's why this guy just comes in and the linebacker can clean it up. But the hole was there. It's just Zeitler lost his feet there.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit of a contrarian. I do agree. I think he missed this hole, and I think he's probably saw Zeitler starting to fall, so he decided not to take it. But I also do think that he's trying to follow Eli Penny here, and that's why he takes that route, because he's trying to get behind the right shoulder of Eli Penny. So I think maybe the play was designed to go this way, and Fleming just didn't get that second block in. But I think, there's a play design, and then there's an obvious gaping hole in the middle of the field that he should have taken, right? So
yeah. So I mean, I think that the linebackers may have overly commit, and again, we talked about the vision. It is there, that is there, but maybe it was supposed to be outside. But again, that's the beauty of football; it can be interchangeable and quickly adjustable, especially in the NFL. These backs need to make these quick reads. So, again, I agree with. Obviously the point that I made, but Anthony, I agreed with your point as well.
Yeah, this reminded me of Saquon, honestly. Like usually we see Gallman just straight line runner. He'll bulldoze through this hole, but he takes a weird little bounce step to the outside, like Saquon often does. And Gallman just doesn't have that strength and speed to get to the outside. And that's kind of what Saquon's strength is.
Yeah, you almost wonder if he would have hurdled here if Zeitler's left leg wasn't in the air at that point, and he kind of would have just kind of hit the hole. Like we usually see him do. Nice job by Evan Ingram, too.
Yep, and here's a nice little Nick Gates play again. He just cleans up. Lemieux gets rocked on this rep, and Nick Gates just helps him out big time.
Yep, and again, and really his hands here are just a little too low, and he's caught leaning in terms of Lemieux. So if you just go back, Alex, his hands are just too low. Geno Atkins is able to then get his hands inside and bull rush underneath his. Right in the chest plate.
He's way too low.
He's leaning right there. Geno Atkins is too good to miss that one.
Yeah, that was a nice move by Atkins, but then an excellent job by Nick Gates, just recognizing that his teammate is losing that rep and then coming over there and bulldozing Geno Atkins. That was a nice rep.
Yeah,
he's definitely lucky he didn't get called for a block in the back there.
Yeah,
I think it was so bang, and it looks like it's right in his hip, so it's probably why.
Yeah, no, definitely right on the side. But look at Nick Gates after this. You can tell he tries to body slam his head. Watch this. He right here. He looks like he's falling, and then he just look at this, bam, right with the shoulder.
Love it.
He cracks me up.
But that's the attitude you need, especially to play the center position, to play all the offensive line positions. It's good to see.
Yeah, no, for sure. The aggression needs to be there. So here's the play for Andrew Thomas. This is the guy I want everyone to look at right now. This play from Andrew Thomas. He disappears behind this combo, this stunt, and he just reappears out of nowhere, and just it was beautiful to watch.
That's a great job. That's really, and what I see out of Andrew Thomas there is just patience, guys. He's just super patient. That's the design there in the stunt is for Geno Atkins to wait for the edge rusher to do that, so where he could come around and he would have a free shot at Daniel Jones here.
Yeah.
But they do a nice job again of passing it off. Andrew Thomas is patient. He knows Shane Lemieux is going to be there for his help, and he's able to come off perfect timing. Really nice job here, and again, nice pocket.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the communication to passing it off to knowing, to do these things. Keep in mind, these are essentially three rookies next to him. Andrew Thomas is a rookie, Shane Lemieux is a rookie, and Nick Gates is essentially a rookie at center. This is really, really impressive to see for a Giants team that has so many problems in the past with the offensive line. To watch this chemistry and this continuity and the ability to pass players off and really emerge and from this stunt. And Andrew Thomas coming back and actually taking care of Geno Atkins, it's beautiful. It's honestly, I haven't been able to say anything great about the offensive line in so long. It's really nice to see this.
Yes.
Even Cam Fleming gets his guy turned around.
Is this a play where Daniel Jones gets injured? Where he scrambles for 6 yards and then his hamstring pulls, or is this a different play? It looks like he's about to scramble here. I like Jones also, feeling that pocket. You can really see him feeling the pocket here. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's not.
His awareness has been a lot better.
Wow, that was actually a great throw by Jones too, just to expand that play a little bit and find the guy and sip a bullet in there.
Absolutely.
More pre-snap motion here. Love to see it.
Okay, so this and Matt, I want to point this out to you because I think you'll appreciate this. Watch Kevin Zeitler on this combo with Nick Gates. Watch what he does when Gallman hits the hole. He rotates to the backside of the defender to seal it, which is really I had to watch it a couple times and I was like, wow, like that is veteran stuff right there. Because right here he knows he has him, and then watch him rotate to the backside of it to seal that hole for Gallman to run through.
Yeah, that's just being smart. You know, again, that's what I talk about with I think this is actually Wayne Gallman's biggest run of – was this his biggest run of the season?
He almost broke this to the season. I mean, he almost broke this to the house. It was really close.
And again, you know, he misses – you know, the first guy comes in and misses. I think it's Sean Williams. I think it's the guy who took the kick return back here coming in from the safety position on the blitz. You know, this is beautiful to see. He breaks that first arm tackle at the first level. That could have been a loss in the backfield. Just keeps running again. And then this is where you talk about offensive linemen. They have to be really good at geometry because they have to understand angles. So Kevin Zeitler understands the angle here. That's just a veteran job to seal that off. And again, like you said, turns the defender. Really, boom, seal. Okay? That's a really good job.
Yeah, I also want to point out in this 12 personnel how excellent both of the tight ends did on this play. Toilolo and Engram, they double-team linebacker, and then Toilolo does a great job getting the second level, and Engram's able to anchor on that edge defender there.
Yep.
Pull that off.
Really nice. And Gallman, man, the second he puts his foot in the ground, look how explosive he is. He sees this guy coming off the edge, and he just, man, look, he plants that left foot, and he just bounces at it right through the tackle. And this should be every day of the week. This should be a tackle. Look, he has him around the waist.
Yep.
This should be a form tackle, easy. But his slenderness, he slithers away from this tackle. And watch what he does. He turns what should have been a negative play into one step. If he goes right here, I think he's gone. But instead he takes the inside route and he gets caught just by a toenail.
Yeah, and that's honestly that's Clemson Wayne Gallman, right? That's where Wayne Gallman is at his best, running hard. It just shows you how strong he really is, right?
Yeah,
to then actually break off of this tackle and keep the feet moving, like we talk about. Really good, strong lower body from Wayne Gallman. That's why they call him Wayne Train, man. He's just a strong running back.
Yep. 100%. And here is the final clip of ours. So this is right before Daniel Jones gets injured. So keep that in mind. I didn't include much of the Colt McCoy because really we want to see the chemistry with this offensive line with Daniel Jones. I think that's the most important part because like we mentioned before, when Nate Solder was here and starting, he had such different mechanics as he was so used to Tom Brady's drop back. Your tackles and your guards, everyone on the offensive line has to understand what the quarterback likes to do, what his tendencies are, so that they can have that in the back of their mind. And then if he's pushing that speed rusher on the back, how far is Daniel Jones back there? You know, how far it was Eli Manning or Tom Brady? That was Nate Solder's problem. He was so used to protecting Tom Brady that when Eli Manning had a longer drop back, he was pushing speed rushers right into him. So I think that's important. I wanted to show the offensive line's chemistry with Daniel Jones specifically.
Absolutely.
And I love this play. So I wanted to make this one just a good last play for Daniel Jones. Look at the pocket. Look at the pocket that he has right now. Both tackles do a great job on their one-on-one battles. And the interior line just completely stonewalls these three defenders. I don't even know what they're doing, to be honest with you. No one's even moving.
Yeah,
literally a brick wall right in front of him. That's perfect.
Yep. This was to Evan Ingram too, I think. This was his second big play of the game, and the nasty throw from Daniel Jones.
Oh, this throw couldn't have been in a better spot. This throw was perfect. It's okay. They'll see it in the Daniel Jones breakdown that's coming out soon. We'll see it there.
Yep.
And I think, guys, this is another stunt that the front three here just absolutely crash into each other. And they do a great job of disrupting the stunt by the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, really good film study. Good job by Hernandez, Gates, and Zeitler here. I mean, again, talk about chemistry. Those guys have played together, even though Hernandez is seeing decreased snaps. Really good job of just disrupting the stunt.
Yeah, and picking up those stunts is very much, like you mentioned, film study. It's also chemistry, and it's also coaching. And all three of those have been, excellent for the Giants this year, or at least towards the second half of this year. As this offensive line's chemistry has really improved. They've really done a great job picking up a lot of these stunts, and it's helped keep Daniel Jones's pocket clean. When throwing in a clean pocket, Daniel Jones has an 82.5 adjusted completion percentage. So it's very important that you keep a guy like Jones clean, because when you do, he can make some great throws just like this one right here.
Yep, absolutely. And my friends, that is it for the offensive line breakdown for week 12. Got some really good clips in there. And hopefully, Matt, you enjoyed watching this too and gave some awesome information to these awesome fans of ours at Fireside Giants. And I'm sure they all appreciate the hard work that we put into these videos and giving you some insight into what is really going on in the trenches. And Matt, I just want to say thank you as always for, your insight and professionalism with, informing everybody of the kind of intricacies of the offensive line. So thank you for that.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So my friends, we will catch you guys next time. Make sure to hit our Twitters, Alex Wilson ESM, Anthony_Rivardo, and ESM Matt G. And of course, the Daniel Jones video coming out from Anthony in a couple days. I'm not sure. What is that? Tomorrow, Friday? You're going to be releasing that?
Hopefully. That's the plan.
All right. So Daniel Jones tomorrow, get to see what he's doing and really how he's made some serious progress this season from, weeks 1 through 8 to now the last 3 weeks. No turnovers. He's been phenomenal. So really excited to watch that as well. But we'll catch you guys next time and hope you enjoyed.